Hello, this is Angela from Create for Living, here with another Bible journaling video. And just like that page of the dancer with the flowy lines, I'm going to be doing a page for Palm Sunday in my Bible. So because I'm looking at this Palm Sunday theme, you'll see I'm using a whole bunch of greens, and I'm just starting here with the dress of the dancer, just shaping that dress, and with lots and lots of different flowy lines, some lighter, some darker, playing around with doing the outline with darker colors of green and more pigment, and then lighter pigment and more water, just to create this kind of movement and flow of the dress, kind of the impression of the dress rather than being particularly detailed about it. And I'm just leaving a little bit of an opening at the bottom where I'll put the feet of the dancer so that you can see the little ballet shoes, which you'll see me do a little later. So using some darker greens just to give a bit of dimension, and really just keeping that really light over the text so I can read the text there. And this is the dress of the dancer. Now you can see I'm using a little bit of that sort of lighter blue color to do the feet, the ballet shoes, and just shaping the dress around. And then I mix kind of the silver color of this paint with a little bit of pinks and different colors there to try and create kind of a skin color for the legs. I should have let the paint dry before I did that, and actually I hadn't put enough silver in here, so the skin was a little bit tanned, which with summer I guess that's okay. But I did go and edit that, just take the paint off with a dry paintbrush, and try and blend that a little bit more. And then for the hair, you can see I just literally created on the spot, just doing dark hair because I have dark brown hair. These are kind of like self-portraits, but with a bit of imagination. My hair is not that long, and so I decided to just kind of paint the hair down long. It kind of just happened. And sometimes these paintings just go a totally different way to what you expect. And then using the green and doing these kind of lines for the palm branches. I wanted this dancer to be waving palm branches. I did watch the video by Scribbling Grace. Oh, I love her videos, one of my favorites. And she is so much better at how she does these leaves. So I'm trying this technique out for the first time. What she does really well is keep it fine at the bottom and then go fatter. And I just don't yet have the skill to do that. It's something I'll need to work on. But I did use that idea of keeping it thinner and trying to go fatter. As you can see, I'm getting kind of right there now. And she's also really good at going in different directions. Anyway, what's good about this tutorial that she did on this is that you can't really go wrong on the branches. You kind of go any direction and you can fill them in yourself. But it does look kind of nice if you can do that flowy one stroke. So just using the greens and using different hues of that, more paint, less paint, on the paintbrush, more water, and I'm just going through. I did this all. I know I've sped this video up to 200 times the speed, but I did the whole thing in about 20 minutes. So it was a really quick process. So I'm really not being that careful. I'm being quite free and just really enjoying the idea of the palm branches waving around as I'm doing this. So just using the different colors. I tried to use lighter colors over the text, just making sure that if I do go over the text, I tend to use more water so it really does show through. And if it is a little dark, I just quickly use a paintbrush with like a dry paintbrush to lift up the paint. So I don't really need to worry too much about working over the text. I find I generally can make sure I'm working light enough that the text is visible. I like the text being visible in my paint. I also, you can see, positioned the dancer so that her features were in the margin, so that the extra lines and things that I need to draw for her face, etc., I can draw quite freely with a pen, which you'll see me doing after I've dried the page. So I'm just drying it now. And because I used the silver in the body, it still looks a little wet to me, so it took me a while to just be sure that it was dry. I'm just double checking, and yes, it's still dry. And a page in the back, I didn't prep either side of these pages, and you can see there's no issue with bleed through. There's a little bit of ghosting, but it's not really visible once you've painted on both sides. So now I'm just going through with the pen, just with my Uniball pen, which is a waterproof pen. Not that it matters too much because I tend to do it after the painting, but it's useful if you get the page wet, if you're painting some other part of the Bible, so it doesn't smudge. I'm just putting very simple features, mainly because I'm not very good at drawing people, so I tend to draw more kind of the impression. I don't know if you remember the old Good News Bibles with that sort of impression of people without the features on. I really loved that, so this is a bit more detailed than that kind of idea. And then just giving a few lines here and there just to give the flow, and I think that pretty much does it. So now I'm going to use my Tombow. This is the soft tip, and I'm just going to write in the word Hosanna. I'm using that little bit of space there for the H in. I did decide to do it in pencil first, which I don't normally do, and actually I didn't end up sticking to those lines, so I kind of regretted doing it in the end. I tend to just eyeball it, which I think is good. And I'm just filling in the line from John 12 verse 13, Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. For Palm Sunday, and I know this Palm Sunday it's difficult, things are so different this year, and a lot of us are feeling it acutely that we're not going to church in the way that we normally would for Palm Sunday, especially at this time when we have these big events in the church calendar and leading up to Easter, and really feeling that sense of mourning leading up to Easter Sunday. So I just want to encourage you to spend some time reflecting on your own, joining with the Bible journaling community around the world and the churches around the world, and marking this day in a special way, reflecting and thinking about the events around Palm Sunday, and praying for the church and praying for the services. Let's do that now. Lord, we pray that you will bless all the communities tomorrow that meets, even though maybe socially distant. Lord, I pray that we would be able to come together in a beautiful way to sing your praise, to celebrate you, and to know that we are joined in our worship of the true King. Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. So here's some stills of the final page, just some close-ups you can see of the lettering, and I've got some photos just at the end. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this was a blessing to you and that you'll take some time to journal. If you do, please tag me, Create for Living, on Instagram. I'd love to see what you do. God bless.